people would always say to me, how do you do it? And I would say vodka and exercise.
Yeah.
I work out every morning.
And it was not a joke.
And I drink at night.
Yeah.
And when you drink, what? You're loosey-goosey.
Life is good.
I know.
Right?
Things bother you less.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Do-Over Divas, where oversharing is our love language. Do us a favor, please, and hit that subscribe button. It would really help us out. We're just starting out, and we'll owe you one. I'm Corey.
I'm Libby.
And I'm Jill. And today, if you feel stuck or lost or just in a funk and you aren't sure how to pull yourself out, or you want to discover what truly lights you up and how to leave behind what is no longer serving you, then this episode is for you. We have Leigh Koechner here. Woo! Leigh, tell us who you are and why people need to listen to this episode or watch.
Well, you should listen to this episode and watch because I'm super cute.
Yeah.
And so are these ladies.
Hell
That's
yeah.
enough. But,
That's enough. Leave it there.
Yeah,
No,
so
I'm just
I
kidding.
am a spiritual teacher, a life coach, and I speak, and I'm writing a book.
Wow.
And my mission is to spread love, and I'm committed to shining my light, to bring light into the places and the people that need it.
Well, and you do such a great job of sharing your story to help other people be inspired and see possibility and also like learn whatever lessons you've learned along the way.
You know, I'll tell you, I used to have a women's group in my backyard, and it was once a month, and everyone would wear white, and I'd have the fire, and I'd have like a theme and something cool we do, and I'd make like some sort of cool martinis.
You had your own little white party.
I did have a white party once a month.
Not like a Diddy party, but very different.
Not a ditty party.
Very, very different.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then I saw this woman that moved in across the street, and she had a 2-year-old, and I didn't know her, and I would just go, hi, I'm having a ladies group if you want to come over tonight. And she would just go and run inside. And then the next month I was like, hi, tonight's that group. And she, I think, just didn't even wave that time, just slammed her door. And so the next time I was like, okay, I'm not going to wait for her to run in. I'm going to run in. So I just go, my group's tonight. And I slam my door.
There you go. Beat her to it. Yeah.
So that night she came. And she walked in, and
she
sat
just likes people to be mean to her.
in the back corner.
I love those people. Go ahead.
She sat in the back corner, and I did my whole thing. And halfway through, I had just sent my son to a therapeutic boarding school. He was really struggling. He was 13. And so I was talking about life, and then all of a sudden I just go, and I just sent my son to a therapeutic boarding school. And I started crying so hard. I kept talking, and then I just paused and cried, and everyone sipped their martinis and waited for me to get myself together. And I wiped my tears away, and I said, you know, I had no idea that needed to come out, but thank you for holding space for me. Now let's get back to this. So I finished it. We finished the night. Everyone laughed, hugged him, walked him out, and she waited. And she came up to me, and she said, the last thing I wanted to do was to come to a beautiful woman's home, a beautiful house, beautiful children, married to a Hollywood actor, and feel like more crap about myself and feel worse about myself. And I was just, she said, but then I saw that you're messy just like me. And she was crying, and I hugged her, and my body lit up, and I realized the power is in sharing my mess, because I have a lot of it, and I'm a wild ass, and I've been through so much. And I start with that because then people can see themselves in me and know that they're not alone, which is a huge part of my work. Is I share stuff so openly and honestly because everyone's going through it. And when we hold it in, we hurt. And when we share it, we help ourselves and other people.
And it's so authentic. It's really done so, you do it so well. It's so more than relatable. It really does give people permission.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it really does.
You know, my ex, about 17 years into our marriage, kind of went through something, and I saw this shift in him.
What, 17 years in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like he wasn't happy with where his career was, and he did Anchorman. He was in the movie Anchorman, the guy who wore the cowboy hat, who said whammy, super funny guy. And all of those guys became 20 million a picture guys, and Dave was kind of still on the treadmill. Yeah. And he was sinking a little bit, and he started drinking more and more and more. And one day I walked in, I was like, David, we all have the seed of Mother Teresa in us, and we also have the seed of Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean, really.
That's right. Which path do you take? Yep.
And I said, right now you're watering this dark seed, and I've seen it cover your heart, and I'm afraid it's going to go to your mind. And he turned to me and said, you know, I was in his dressing room. He got a new show, which was Show of His Dreams, but what happened was he was no longer running on his treadmill.
Right.
Doing 50 things a week. He just sat by himself, and he went bananas in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And he came and he said, don't you ever come in my dressing room again talking about your spiritual shit. I don't want to hear it. And
wow.
right then I knew there was a shift.
Yeah, something
Wow.
was going
Wow.
on.
And he
Yeah.
continued the drinking and got into some other stuff later. And for 6 years, I got off of me. I got off of what I love. I got off of coaching. I got off of what bring me joy.
So at that point, you were coaching.
Yeah, then I was coaching. I was
Okay.
doing 2.5-day retreats with 100 women. I was doing 8-person, 6-month things where they'd fly in to do a middle of the masterminds.
Give us a snapshot. How long was your personal coaching business going on while you were married to Dave?
Probably for about, I'm going to say, probably around 2013 I started, and probably 2017 he started getting knee deep in his addiction, but I kept doing it.
Right.
But then it became a full-time job for me to try to hold the family together, to try
Yeah.
and save him, to try and get him to work, to try and find him, to try and...
Yep.
It was the most horrific
That's
experience
awful.
I've ever
That is
experienced
awful.
in my entire life.
Yeah.
And I've never seen addiction up close and personal, and I've never seen or knew that it could take a human being and transform them into
Someone
a
you
different
didn't
person.
know. Yeah.
Wow.
And by the end of it, I was exhausted. I couldn't eat. I couldn't
Yeah.
sleep. I could barely parent. And I remember I used to look in his eyes and I could still sometimes see him. And I would say, baby, I know you're in there. Fight, fight.
Yeah,
and say,
yeah.
screw you, beast. But at the end, I couldn't see him anymore. And I was like, you got to go because you're scary to,
Yeah,
you're,
yeah, yeah.
you're not, I can't do
You're
it
not-
anymore.
You're not
not-
my partner anymore. Yeah.
That's it.
You're
and
not my
here's,
partner anymore. That's
it.
right, Corey.
And
Yeah.
here's what
It's not- you're
here's
not the
what I
person I
know
chose,
about
yeah.
marriage. Marriage, unless it's a happy marriage, it's a happy marriage. We are not meant to ever be in a relationship where one person stops and then they sit down. You're no longer in a relationship.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
not a marriage.
No.
Yep.
And people stay in it and they're miserable and they wait till their kids get old and older and then they divorce. No, what you're teaching your children is this is what marriage looks like. A loveless, impatient, unkind.
Exactly.
You're modeling it and they
Yeah.
find that.
Yeah.
So
and
it's
that's what they go get later on, and that's not what you want for them.
so it was hell. I never knew it was coming. I'm so grateful it happened. I'm so grateful I was able to go to Al-Anon and learn how to detach with love and to wish him the best. And when he talks bad about me still or to my kids or he uses them as messengers, which we both agree we wouldn't do, he won't speak to me. That I talk to my kids. I tell him, Dad's supposed to come directly to me, but I just want to let you know this is the answer, or he can ask me. But
Right.
it causes too much friction with
Yeah.
my children, so
Yeah.
they just say, can you please answer? So I do, and when he's mean to me or says mean things to me, I have my barrier of love up,
Yep.
that I know what he's doing has nothing to do with me.
That takes so much strength, though. It takes so much strength to keep choosing
Yeah.
to meet it with love. It's so hard when you're getting that sort of hostility coming at you.
Especially when your
Every
kids
day.
are in the front of it too. You're
Oh,
like, really
yeah.
mess with me, but don't put the kids there
Yeah.
because
That's
I
when
draw
the fire
line.
comes out.
Yeah.
But then you have to calm that down and still choose love.
What's the last thing you gave a big, unapologetic hell no to?
I got tired at 30 years old of making out, of doing drugs. I was like, what am I doing? I know what I want. I know what's coming, but this lifestyle's not going to get it. I flew home to Kansas City with my brother Patrick and for Christmas, and I was at the airport flying back to LA, and I saw my ex-husband walk in. And I liked his bald head, his broad shoulders, his cool jacket, his boots. I was like, he's darling. My brother's a huge Saturday Night Live fan, and I don't watch the show. But Dave was on Saturday Night Live, and Pat jumped up, and Dave goes, I got let go from the show, and Pat was like, oh my God, you're my favorite thing, your character. So Pat walks with him.
Yeah, bromance.
And he said, yeah, huge
Yeah,
romance.
yeah.
And then he's like, Leigh, do you have any celebrities coming to your New Year's Eve party? I'd always have somebody, maybe B-list or funny people. I go, no, I don't. He goes, go ask Dave. So I walked over to Dave. Here's my business card. I'd like to invite you to my New Year's Eve party. Patrick said I should ask you. He goes, who's Patrick? And I said, my brother. And he
The
goes,
one you were just making out with.
he was like, I said, my brother. He goes, oh, I'll come to your party. And he came, and we were together for 22 years.
Oh my God.
And he was the love of my life, and he was the perfect guy at the perfect time who brought me in flailing. I said he held my ankle while I flopped around for 6
Wow.
months.
Yeah.
And when I was tired, he picked me up. And we went, yeah,
That's
so
a great
sweet.
image.
Leigh,
really
I love
is.
that.
He's
I
so
love that.
sweet. So then we had 5 children. in a
Wow.
non-traditional way.
Yeah.
Were you just part of the Hollywood life at that point? Give us a picture of what your life was during all of that. Because we have now 5 kids, which is an amazing journey and story. But what was your day-to-day?
Well, my day-to-day was, well, at night it would start with laying everybody's crap out, remembering the kids who struggled with what, asking them to do that part then, trying to alleviate the most chaos, because it was very chaotic, and my ex traveled a lot for movies and TV shows and stand-up. So I was home a lot, but I had help. They don't want the help.
Right.
The help can make
They want you.
sandwiches and
Yeah.
do the
Right.
laundry.
Yeah.
But, you know, so it was, I just got super vigilant like a drill sergeant, which was part of my tough persona. But I'd be like, get your stuff, get up, it's time to go, let's move it. And one wouldn't want to get out of bed, and I'd go to battle, and then that didn't work.
I mean, 5, Leigh. Holy
Yeah,
fuck,
I know.
5. We have 2, and we're like just barely getting by.
Right.
It's a lot.
It is a
And
lot.
people would always say to me, how do you do it? And I would say vodka and exercise.
Yeah.
I work out every morning.
And it was not a joke.
And I drink at night.
Yeah.
And when you drink, what? You're loosey-goosey.
Life is good.
I know.
Right?
Things bother you less.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I am a proponent of this. When you come from such a painful and horrific, situation that you were in, and you were juggling and surviving and trying to put band-aids on everything and make it okay, and then you sit back and you have sort of an outside perspective of what's going on, and you do find that love for that person again, regardless of their behavior, and that heals you, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't that heal you to make you to go?
100%. And it allows me to love him.
Right.
And I'll always love him. And I know who's under all of that. I know that little boy who's
In
hurting.
spite of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In spite of his behavior.
And when he attacked me one time via text, really horrific things, I texted back and I said, I'm not your enemy. I love you. I support you. I'm always here for you. And I felt it. But at that time, I was still hoping that we could have a friendship.
Yeah.
So it hurt when he didn't respond. But then I kept doing my work
Yep.
on me.
Right.
What do I need? I need this. And I need to love myself. And everything else falls into place.
Right.
You said that you were grateful for this
Yes.
happening. Why?
Because we were no longer equally yoked, as it says in the Bible, but we were no
So it
longer
needed something that dramatic for you to go, all right, I gotta go.
perfect.
Okay.
I would never
I
have
get it.
left him.
I get it.
I
Yeah.
had the
Probably wouldn't
thought
have.
It
in
had
my
to be
mind,
that bad.
this is my guy till I die, through
right.
sickness and
Yeah.
health.
I see.
But he had to go spiritually. I'm in deep gratitude for him. He had to go so low, and it was so heavy I couldn't hold on anymore
Wow.
to set me
He
free.
was bringing everybody
did.
down with him. Yeah.
But setting me free
Yeah.
from a spiritual perspective, which is how I like to roll, because when we try and figure shit out with our head, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
we move into knowing that there's something bigger at play,
The way the world works.
I gotta hurt.
The way-
Yeah.
I gotta feel it. And during it, the divorce, I was talking about it. I do 33-day Facebook Live series. I've done like 9 of them.
Oh, cool.
But there I was just talking about saying, I'm struggling, I'm going through divorce, I'm hurting so much. Today
Yeah.
I woke up, but here's something I did to feel better. Then I got asked to be the divorce coach in Beverly Hills for this group called Vesta Divorce. So I really find when I share, I heal. When I share the tools, they pull me out. It's gold for me. And how
Yeah.
can I keep it to myself? But I share my stuff because that's where my magic comes from, my mess. So I'm in gratitude for everything that's happened. I don't want to go through it again.
Yeah.
I won't
Got
make
it.
the same
Yeah.
mistakes again,
Yeah.
but,
Right.
But it took that.
we had a good run.
Yeah.
And he had to go low for me to let go because I wouldn't have.
What's the
hard.
hardest lesson you learned during this that you pass on in your workshops?
From divorce, I don't know the hardest lesson, but I did learn that everything is 50-50. When I went back and examined my part in our relationship, I was the drill sergeant. I was chop chop. I did do everything. Some of my kids saw a psychiatrist for ADHD, or they were on meds, or after boarding school, I implemented the program of boarding school in our home with all my kids so he could come back into the safe environment. Like I worked my ass
Right.
off, right?
Yeah.
And he would come home and be like, hey, who wants ice cream? And I'm like,
Fucking it all
Fuck
up.
you.
I
Yeah.
emailed you.
Fun dad's here.
Sergeant's addicted to sugar. We're trying to do more healthy for
Right.
him. Like, did you not read my text? But I was like that. I
Yeah.
wasn't like, oh, baby, yeah, well, go take ice cream. Go have ice cream, and then let's talk about
Yeah.
when you get back.
Because you had 5 kids and you
I
were
was just
barely
like
like.
this.
And you were doing it all. You were doing a lot. Yeah.
And
He
David's
was
sensitive, and he needs space to be heard because he didn't have that in his childhood. But instead, I showed up more like his mom, and I was tough, and I was like, chop, chop, where have you been? What do you mean? You know, because there was so much all the time.
It's not easy, though. It's really not easy. It's a very vulnerable place to be.
You have to be
know?
very brave to do that.
And you have
You
to,
do.
and it's a muscle, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, you tell us if that's true, but for me, I feel like it's a muscle. If you're not working that muscle, sometimes for me, because vulnerability was not always celebrated in my house growing up, so, and when I was then on my own in my 20s, I had to really teach myself that. So sometimes if I'm not really working that muscle and reminding myself to just not be tough, if I don't do that, there's this chasm that it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It makes it harder and harder to jump across there and get to vulnerability, and really it gets really scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the big key to my happiness is I'm an explorer of myself. And I think it's fun when I fuck up or I piss someone off or say something because I can immediately go, what was my charge for that? Why would I treat someone that way? Why would I speak to them? What's going on that I need to love? I say that healing is applying loving to the places that hurt inside.
Oh, wow.
And when you keep doing that, you stop lashing out as much, or you stop. And then the good thing that I do is I immediately make amends.
That's what I was going to ask, is
Yes.
how you go back and
Making
fix
amends
that.
is not, I'm sorry I talked to you like that.
No.
No. It's for my children. You know, I had an eruption and my head spun around and maybe green vomit came out the other night before. I was so upset. I was in my funk of depression, which I was experiencing. And my kids ran in and said, oh my gosh, they're all going to Ireland, which fed my pity party.
Of
Oh, my
course.
family's
Of course.
going on this Valley trip. They're going to have all these experiences. And I'm not there. It was perfect for my pity party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they ran in and go, oh my gosh, we're all going to get matching tattoos when we're there. And I'm like, matching tattoos, and my head, and my daughter.
That would have triggered me too,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
That's because that's
And I had this financial shit, and I had this, and they're all flying first class and get tattoos, and my head spun. And I stopped myself. And my daughter, Audrey, who's 19, kind of a badass, goes, are you being serious right now? Because I'm not normally like that.
Yeah.
And she just walked out, and then
Yeah.
Eve was like, dude. And I walked out.
bruh.
She's like, bruh.
The teen life coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Eve is the
We call her
no
the
bullshit
Eve.
meter.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a people pleasing bone in her body. She could give a shit what you think about her,
Out
and
of
she
the
speaks
mouths
her
of
truth.
babes.
And I'm like, well, she's 14 and taller than me, but still a babe, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I want to share a quick thing that was a big shift in my parenting. I had my first two, and I was like, I'm not beating anyone. My dad beat the shit out of me because he was so filled with rage from his childhood, and he worked all the time, and my mom would go off about me, and he'd come just spank me, but with
Yeah.
a leather belt with no pants and miss my thing.
Leigh,
and
we're
go-
going to have to
Oh
have
my
a group hug
God.
after this.
Yeah,
This is too
right.
much.
Okay.
I mean, the fact that you have gone through all of this, oh my gosh.
But everything
And you're this
now
bright light
is
now.
a blessing because,
It's all brought you here.
yeah, and it taught me so much of. So my daughter Audrey fell on the ground and was crying. She's a twin. She was 3, and I just looked at her. Now my dad would say, "Get your ass up, or I'll give you something to cry about." My mom was in bed, right? So I just thought, well, I'm doing good. I'm not beating anyone. I'm out of bed.
Yeah.
She's there, and then I had
Baby
this
steps.
Baby steps.
this shift, total baby steps. And I was like, wait a second, what would I have wanted at that age? Oh my God,
me
I would have
up.
died if she
Yeah.
held me and rocked
Yeah.
me. So I picked her up and held her and rocked her. And as I was doing it, she was crying. And then I pictured that was me.
Yeah.
And I closed my eyes.
Very
and
healing.
And I started crying. And the both of us were bawling and holding each other. And I was like, oh, this is what I've heard before about this reparenting. I didn't know what the hell that meant, and it sounded gross.
Right.
But it's actually loving your children and allowing yourself to love yourself at that age as well.
Right.
It was so healing.
Very
and then
healing.
In that moment, you taught yourself empathy
Yeah,
that you never
stopped.
learned when you were that age. Like
Yeah.
when you were younger, you taught yourself
Yeah.
how to put yourself.
So, is this part of where your "you're not alone" mantra comes from?
Because I grew up with 6 kids. I grew up in the house filled with people, and I felt completely alone. 100% alone, just
were.
with people.
You
When I
were.
got married, I had a bunch of kids, and I was in my house, and I felt completely alone because whatever stories we shape when we're 7 follow
Yeah.
us to adulthood unless you learn about them and start exploring them. So if you're like overreacting to stuff, something's going in from when you were little that you didn't feel heard, and when that person cut you off, it triggered your younger
Yep.
self
And you've never
who's
looked
having a
at it.
temper tantrum.
That's right.
Wow.
But it comes out like obnoxious as an adult. Like,
Oh,
why
yeah.
are they acting like
Oh,
that?
yeah.
I just cut them off.
Yeah, because you're stronger. You've taught yourself to have that strength.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's just the realization of like, why am I getting mad? What's going on under that? I don't want to do that again. So
I don't want
that's
to be
what
that person.
No,
I don't like
want to
who
have
I am
fun
sometimes.
and be kind.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't want to be the person that's knee-jerk rage, because I am sometimes.
But yes,
you're
me
right.
too.
You can't help it. But
Try being a redhead.
hello.
Okay, don't even get me started.
Whatever. Don't get Corey started.
So-
You go through the muck and the mire, and you come through with a positivity, and you build upon it, and you're stronger. How did you get there?
Yeah, so at my mom's church, people would clap and whatever, and the preacher would get messages and call people up when his wife was like playing the saxophone. And he would always call up adults and say all this stuff. And one time when I was 13, he called me up and he said, Leigh, God has big plans for you. He has big plans for you. And his eyes were so beautiful and it was so pure and loving that I was like, I'm going to put that in my back pocket.
Yeah.
God has something here for me. And then I carried on like a wild ass. I'm a wild ass.
Sure. Yeah.
And
You're not wild. No.
Oh, no!
No. I haven't known
Not
you
so
that
much
long.
anymore. I'm growing up a tiny bit, but my kids still tell me to tone it
What
down.
was your wild ass period?
My what?
Still is. Right?
From, I'd say, kindergarten. I remember like pushing a boy down and kissing him on the playground. And by second grade, they told my mom that I was boy crazy and she needed to talk with me. But my mom was mentally ill and in bed, locked. I didn't really have access to her.
She was what? Mentally
she's
ill?
mentally ill.
Okay.
She was an alcoholic and then she was mentally ill. And then my dad gave her pills because he was a doctor, and she just spent all of her time in bed. So I didn't really have access to her.
Wow.
And there were 6 of us kids, so I ran around like a crazy person, and I became tough as nails, and I didn't need anyone. And
Yeah.
I remember
You were surviving.
I was surviving.
That's right.
I graduated from K-State with a degree in recreation and leisure, which gave my dad a huge belly laugh because he's a surgeon with like a genius IQ. And he's like, pick something, you have to graduate in 4. And I was like, recreation and leisure. And he just laughed. After I graduated in 4, like my father asked me to, I ended up being activities director in Guam and the Virgin Islands. And then I got into scuba diving and became a scuba instructor. And then I worked for Club Med and went to Tahiti for 8 months.
Oh my God.
Then my boyfriend called me in Tahiti, who was my boyfriend for years in college. He played basketball. And he's like, I really miss you. And I go, I miss you too. And he said, come see me. So I went for 8 months to Europe. And I lived in Austria and Germany. And then I was like, I am done with bikinis. I want clothes, and I want a job, and I want a car, and I want to start living like an adult life. So I moved to Los Angeles because I wanted to be by the ocean, Manhattan Beach, and I started
totally
my
done with
adult life.
bikinis.
And I was still my tough, fast, partying my ass off, kicking it, making out. And you know, I had this wall around my heart from my childhood still. I hadn't started melting it or looking at it. So I wasn't able to be intimate with myself, and so it was very hard for me to be intimate. I think you can only love as much as you love yourself.
Yeah.
And so I would kind of do what I called hit and runs. I would make out and I'd be gone. And,
Yep. No, I can relate.
I don't want your name. I don't want your number. Just
No.
touch me.
Yeah.
You know, when I went to therapy finally, a few years later when I went to therapy, it was actually after I met my husband, my ex-husband. I met him and I didn't know how the hell to be with him. So I started getting drunk and picking fights. And he's like, what are you doing? I go, I don't know. And he said, why don't we go to therapy? And then at the end of it, the therapist said, I can see you two are really connected. Leigh, can I see you back by yourself? And I was like, screw her. She just wants my money.
But you're an open book about that, which is immediately makes people feel like they're okay and they're not alone.
So what I know about divorce is when it starts, it's overwhelming, you feel sick, and there's a giant pile over here that I call shit. And there's so many different nuggets and departments and things and so many things. And I'd look at it and I go, I don't know any of it. And I'd start overwhelmed. And then I go, wait, I only have to do one thing.
One thing at a
Let me
time.
just
One
pick
thing.
one piece.
Yep.
Somehow it transformed from poop to a cake. But let me pick one piece,
I just got a flash of the help.
thing at a time. Anything.
The poop cake.
Yeah, poop cake
yeah,
on me.
yeah.
But I was like, we overwhelm ourselves with looking at the big picture.
Yeah.
All
It
I
is
have to do
overwhelming.
today is what that woman just asked me to do. That's it.
Yep.
and check and take that out.
So a little bit each day. Don't get overwhelmed by the whole
Yeah.
picture, because that will swallow you up.
Yeah.
Ask
It
for
really
help.
will. Ask for help, and it's brilliant.
Ask
And
for
it's one of
help.
the best things people can give themselves.
And is this what people get when they go to your website, when they go to your Instagram? Just like these nuggets and, stories of your own life that helps them figure out theirs?
Absolutely. Yeah, I have a website and I have a lot of videos on YouTube, but there's more coming.
That's right.
Yeah.
There is
That's right.
more coming.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm now at the time of my life to really write my book and get on stages and help people. But I am taking
I
on
want you
new
to speak
coaching.
more.
This is a new
love
chapter.
speaking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
you're sober, you're getting your finances together, you're finding that independence, you're like giving all these gifts to yourself and all these tools for you to then go on and a literal chapter if you're writing your book, but also
Right.
like this,
The world
this
is like
symbolic
wide
chapter.
open.
Yeah.
And whatever
Yeah.
I choose to do by taking action and being
Yeah.
aligned with God, it's going to be magical.
Yeah.
Because I'm already experiencing magical things that,
I love it.
yeah, it's really cool. So if any of your people are watching and they're struggling anything with life, because I was just stuck and reminding myself how to get out
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
financial fear and
Just
make a game
recently.
plan.
Yeah.
And you're here.
Last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an energy available to us at all times when we are open to tap into
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And I also love that our body's made up of the same chemistry as stars.
It is.
The same.
We're the same
I love
atoms in
that.
To
space.
think that there's
Yes.
anything separate than all that is, that we're all
Yeah.
connected,
Yeah, yeah.
and that we have the power of God, of the universe, we're fooling ourselves.
Yeah.
And
So
really
easy to
learning-
forget.
And everybody on the planet is connected. And if you're open to that,
There's certain people I don't want to be connected to, just FYI.
yeah, many. But if you lean into that and ask for help and be open and be vulnerable, you're not failing, you are strong, right? And you will then lean into those who will lift you up. And getting unstuck is a big skill set.
Yeah.
Well, and you could have made your story into so many different types of a life, right? You could have just been stuck in regret and why did this happen to me?
Yeah.
You could have been
The pity
stuck
party.
in so many parts, and no one would have blamed you.
Yeah.
It would have been like, I mean, it's not fair, poor
Right.
Leigh. But you never did that. I mean, that's kind of incredible,
It's
and so
incredible.
inspiring to everyone else.
It is.
Yeah, I thank you for that. Thank you. I think the biggest gift I've given myself where I was born is a childlike curiosity to explore things, not to think anything's definite or permanent.
Yeah.
To explore it and to look at me and to love myself and what's my part is so huge.
What's my part?
I call it ownership, owning your shit.
Yeah.
It's so easy to blame other people, but
Yeah.
we all had a part in it. We
Yes.
are
Yeah.
actually 100% responsible for our life experience.
Yes.
We
Yeah,
choose.
we create it.
Yeah.
We allow
Yeah.
people to treat us a certain way by how we show up.
Yeah.
So it's really empowering.
Very.
Wow.
When you realize that you
Terrifying.
are the power, the power is within you. It is empowering.
Yeah.
That you are the reason your life is the way it is. You have the
Yes.
choices. You have the ability to change it. You have the ability to leave or stay. And it's so wonderful when you really just hear that, and to remember it.
So, you've been amazing. So many inspiring things.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Wait, let me tell your
with a
website.
rapid fire?
Can I hear
So
the
wait,
website?
tell my Instagram. It's my first and last name, which is Leigh Koechner. Instagram, I'm on a ton. And also, I'm going to give you guys a link that they can click for a free 30-minute phone call with me.
Oh, I love
Because
that.
I just feel like
That's so generous.
I have so much to give
do.
because
Yeah.
I've been through so much. And I know we're all connected. And when one person rises, it helps like thousands
It
around.
does. I agree.
It really does.
Absolutely.
You
Yeah.
girls are lovely.
So you're lovely.
you.
I need you
you.
in my life
No,
every
you.
day.
I love
Yeah.
this
Fine.
life, and I'm so excited you guys have me, and
You're very special.
it feels
Yeah.
nice.
You really are.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
all for
you.
being
Thank
here.
you.
Come back
and
next
thank you,
week.
Leigh.
Do-Over
See you soon.
Divas.
See you next week.
New episodes of Do-Over Divas dropping every week, wherever you get your podcasts.